The wooden structures at Art Park are known as the ritual space. These structures were designed by freshman architecture students from the University at Buffalo. The installation is composed of 10 ritual spaces, each measuring 64 square feet with a maximum 10-foot height. That they are grouped to form 2 ritual houses. Each structure captures one of the 5 common daily activities or rituals: gathering, food prep, eating, bathing, and sleeping. I'm really excited that you guys are coming to join me on this exploration. I really don't know all the things that I'm looking for, but you guys are able to move in spaces and be very vocal about how you feel in certain situations, and that's what I'm looking for, just comparing all the different locations with the set text in each one. So the only thing that's going to change is the spaces that we're in. The research is being done to further my explorations and hopefully start creating a methodology that I'm interested in working with, continuing in theater. Will this study help you guys in any way? I'm hoping that it will be able to open up your explorations in spaces that you go into in theater and performance, and be able to ground yourself to the space that you're in, because part of my study is space is a character, and the space has a story, as much of a story to tell as the people within it. For this first exploration, my goals were to see how they would naturally move throughout this space. My hopes were that they would not try and put on a performance and just be themselves. So when you guys are in these spaces, how does it make your voice change? Do you want to be vocal, or do you want to stay quiet? Does it make you speak sentences or just say noises? Are you interacting with anybody? Do you want to interact with anybody? You explored all the spaces, or are you noticing that you're just liking one of them? Out of the space that you're in. Come find me. We're going to start with our scripts. Everybody feel comfortable in these spaces. Okay, so we're adding on a couple other elements. We're adding on text, something in your hands, and working with other people. Don't decide what space you're going to be in, just let it happen naturally. The open texts are going to be a little bit easier because there's no description of where your body needs to be and what space, and if you even need to be near somebody. And then it will change once we get to the really structured text.
You shouldn't.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't.
You should have thought of that.
Is this because what I did?
Partly yes, but mostly no.
Can I make it up to you somehow?
I very much doubt it.
Stop doing that and really listen to me.
You don't recognize no, do you?
I just asked you to listen.
I said no. That's it.
What are you doing? Can't you tell? Well, I think so. But
It should be obvious.
oh, you shouldn't.
I know.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't.
You should have thought of that.
Is this because of what I did?
Partly yes, mostly no.
Can I make it up to you somehow?
I very much doubt it.
Stop doing that and listen to me.
It just happened.
Let me see.
Oh. Where are you going?
For help.
And leave me here? You can't just leave me here.
Stay here. I'm out to get help.
No, no. No! Please? One more time, try it again.
Stay here, I'll be right back.
I thought it was really interesting, like working over with Michaela. I definitely was like, oh yeah, move so much more. And then I just jumped in here and was like, oh, this is like totally makes me want to do something different. And it's like these very straight lines that are happening, and there's like more like sort of movement in the architecture of that piece that maybe like informs those choices to like. I stayed totally still the second time I did it. I was also doing a different part, but same scene.
I'm like super aware of Sal with the camera, which is weird because it's, I don't know, I feel like the closeness is coming from this feeling that it's like filmic, like I'm feeling filmic because
to sort of either utilize the environment to your benefit or use it as a hindrance, because I know that I used it because the scene 4 is there's a lot of like negative things, I guess, and it's sort of interesting to be able to have a structure between you and the other person, and then call for them. You have to sort of make your way around to get their attention. So I used it that way, and then for the second scene, I wanted to explore, and because I like to sort of build narratives, I had my own like, okay, improv. It looks sort of like a hull of something, so I'm like, let's make it a ship of some sort.
Oh, but
It should be obvious.
you shouldn't.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't.
You should have thought of that. Come on.
I told you to be careful.
I was. It just happened.
There, let me see.
No.
Can you,
No, here, use this.
oh, come on.
I told you to be careful.
I was. It just happened.
There, let me see.
I noticed we all stayed like very close to one another. Like we were either like in a structure together. Like nobody was out here and nobody was like far apart. It was all just like, yeah, like we are in a scene. Like it wasn't, like there was some exploration, but it was very like in one area. Coming from an acting background, like, I have some theater background too, but like I can't think of any of this because I'm too busy. Like, how do I get into the space or out of the space or around the space without hurting myself?
yeah.
So I'm coming from just spatial, like spatially. I'm just looking. I'm like, how do I navigate this instead of like, how do I read this? Like, this is my. I'm like, I go 3 steps and then read something, and then go another step, and then it's interesting.
So, if you don't know the song, that's totally fine. Just speak it. Just say the text. Don't worry if you mess up. Just keep going. If you skip a whole bunch, that's totally cool. Just keep going. The really important parts are where your body's supposed to be. If you are comfortable in a space that you've already explored, you're welcome to go back to that. I challenge you to find a space you haven't explored in, and if it's uncomfortable, take it head on. If you don't feel safe, leave the space. Show in your body language that you don't feel safe. So we'll be able to read it without you being vocal about it. I mean, 3 people, right? The third person comes in? Yeah. Let's do you 3, because you're right in front of me.
Hey!
How the hell did you know my name?
Third
How'd you know?
How soon do they open?
I see a crowd before that. There's always a crowd. The crowd that says, maybe there won't be a crowd, let's go. Anyway, that crowd. You'll see that crowd, won't you, Fleming?
How do you know my name? How'd you know my name?
Fleming, don't be a bore. What's your name? My name's Stephen.
Molly. Third place. How soon do they open?
You'll probably see a crowd before that. There's always a crowd. The fact is, Fleming, I'm first now.
What?
I'm first. Look at me. I'm up first. Up front. Front of the line.
What do you mean second? I'm first. I'm right at the front.
For the moment.
Don't get any.
You're looking for a line, lady?
Line?
That's right. This is a line. You're third, number 3. There used to be just 2 of us here, me and Fleming. This is Fleming! Who are you?
Molly. I'm Molly.
The crowd's going to come sure as hell, and I can't guarantee anybody's place. The fact is, Fleming, I'm first now. What? I'm first. Look at me. I'm up first. Up front. Front of the line. Back one pace and let me in. Let me in there.
So, same thing. How did that feel? You can say any challenges. You talk about how having a script in your hand is a pain in the ass. Yeah. Whatever your reactions were to that exercise.
Not being able to see, I had no idea where Michaela was for like most of that scene. So I kind of liked not being able to see my scene partners.
Yeah.
It was interesting how you would start the scene and then you would get into positions where you have to problem solve to sort of follow through with the rest of the script. And certainly that knowledge became more and more thorough after, compared to the first time, second time, third time, because now you've watched how everybody else has sort of done it. Also, what I found interesting was not only was the performances sort of interacting with this geometry of the space, but also the audience, and how the audience is also sort of moving through the space to try and keep track of what was going on in the performance.
Book, or we have the scripts in our hand, but it's better to watch what we do with the space, because as we're reading we have to negotiate what's happening with the lines, and so that makes us have to, you can kind of see people stop and like look around to see like what they can do with the space. So
Interesting how people interpreted sort of the power play of each character in physicality and how they each use the space. I mean, I was just stuck on my own little island up there, and then sort of let that feeling, create the character. And then I know y'all's, you were, it was a manifestation of a vertical space, and then here was almost like a prison, if you will, with sort of the mundanity of needing to be in line when there's not really a line.
Multiple levels of directions or control. I mean, we have the script telling us to do one thing. It's less of you telling us to do something than I thought it would be when I came in here. The architecture's telling us to do something, and then our fellow actors,
I just asked you to listen.
I said no, that's it.
stop doing that and really just listen to me.
You don't recognize no, do you?
Just ask you to listen.
I said no, and that's it.
Can you tell?
Well, I think so. But
It should be obvious.
shouldn't.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you
You should have thought of this.
would. Is this because of what I did?
Partly, yes, mostly no.
Well, I think so, but
It should be obvious.
you shouldn't.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't.
You should have thought of that.
Is this because of what I did?
I know. I mean, I really wish you wouldn't. Should have thought of that. Is this because of what I did? Partly yes, but mostly no. Can I make it up to you somehow? I very much doubt that.
You should have thought of that.
Is this because of what I did?
Partly yes. Mostly no.
Can I make it up to you somehow?
I very much doubt that.
Stop doing that and just really listen to me.
You don't recognize no, do you?
I just asked you to listen.
I said no.
And Michaela, how did it feel with other people in the space?
It added another element. Like instead of just constantly focused on each other, there were other things to worry about.
There's a social element where you don't want to be too upfront or overt because you know other people are watching. Shoot!
Oh,
Oh no.
can you,
No, here, use this.
no, come on.
All right, I gotta go for help.
And leave me here? You can't just leave me here.
You got yourself into this. You stay here, I'm off to get help.
No, please, one more time. Try again. No, please.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh no.
Can you,
No, use this.
come on.
I'm right up front.
For the moment.
Don't get any smart ideas.
The only conclusions I draw on men's rooms walls. Hey. Looking for a line lady?
Line.
That's right, this is a line. You're third, number 3. This used to be just 2 of us here, me and Fleming. This is Fleming. Who are you?
At the front.
Ooh, for the moment.
Don't get any smart ideas.
The only conclusions I draw are men's room walls.
Do you feel like you should open the door?
Well, but the direction is that she walks across too.
You don't need to follow stage directions.
That's the impulsion.
Yeah.
Hey, you looking for a line, lady?
Line?
What do you mean second? I'm first. I'm right at the front.
For the moment.
Don't get any smart idea.
The only conclusions I draw are on men's room walls. Now, if you'd shut up for a while, I'll sing my wallet. This non-transferable Hertz charge card entitles the person named to use Hertz rent-a-car service under the terms of the Hertz rental agreement and is the property of the Hertz system. Hey! You looking for a line, lady?
Line?
That's right, this is a line. You're third, number 3. There used to be just 2 of us here, me and Fleming. This is Fleming. Who are you?
How do you know my name, huh? How do you know my name?
Based on that text, initial reactions, responses to the exploration that you guys just did. Did you ever feel that? Did you feel like you couldn't move furniture that was placed?
Yeah, it definitely felt more confined and structured because it is, I guess, more of like there's more structure to the text and like what's going on. So, like we began to take things more literally versus figuratively in a way.
The acoustics are wonderful. And there's a lot of like nooks and crannies, which I'm a big fan of.
Space in between proper uses, where the first 2 spaces, it's just take it for granted that's how they're used. With this one, there isn't an installation here, and so we're seeing it sort of without fulfilling its true purpose.
No smell. Oh.
I like this.
Oh, no.
Can you,
No. Here. Who's this?
where are you going?
For help.
And leave me here? You can't just leave me here.
You stay here. I'm off to get help.
No, please, one more time. Just try it again.
Stay here. I'll be right back. Come on. I told you to be careful. What is it just happened? Let me see. Going for help. And leave me here. You can't leave me here. Stay here. I'm off to get help. Oh, please try one more time. Stay here. I'll be right back.
Shoot!
Oh!
Oh no!
Can you,
no, here, use this.
come on.
I told you to be careful.
It just happened.
Here, let me see it.
Oh, where?
What are you doing?
Can't you tell?
Well, I think so, but
It should be obvious.
you shouldn't.
I know.
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't.
You should have thought of that.
Is this because of what I did?
Partly yes.
but mostly no. Oh?
I think so.
It should be obvious.
You shouldn't.
I know.
You're getting everything that you want.
You should.
Is this because of what I did?
Partly yes, but mostly no.
Just answer to this.
I said no, and that's it.
What are you doing?
I mean, I really wish you wouldn't do that.
Should have thought of that. Hartley, I very much doubt it.
Stop doing that and really listen to me.
You don't recognize no, do you?
I just asked you to listen.
I said no. That's it.
What do you mean, second? I'm first. I'm right at the front.
Oh, lovely.
Don't get any smart ideas.
The only conclusions I draw are men's room walls.
Hey, you looking for a line, lady?
Mine.
That's right. This is a line. Won't you, Fleming?
How'd you know my name? How'd you know my name?
Fleming, don't be a bore. What's your name? Mine's Steve.
That kid's crazy. Let me up here. I'm up in front.
For the moment, don't get any smart ideas. The only conclusions I draw are in men's room walls. Hey, looking for a line, lady?
Line?
Yeah. Mine's Steven.
I'm Molly.
Watch out. He's one of them freaky weirdos. He's been saying crazy things to me. Just step back in place and just let me get up there, and I'm up front now.
The only conclusions I draw are on men's room walls. Now, if you shut up for a while, I'll sing my wallet.
Line?
That's right. This is a lie. You're third. Number 3. There she.
How long have you been waiting?
About 9.5 minutes. Fleming, you must have been here all night. You were here all night, Fleming. He looks like it, huh?
How the hell did you know my name? I don't understand. How did you know my name? That kid's crazy. Watch out. He's one of them freaky weirdos who's been saying crazy things to me.
I'm first. I'm right at the front.
For the moment.
Don't get any smart ideas.
The only conclusions I draw are on men's walls. Now, anyways, that crowd. You know, you'll see that crowd, won't she, Fleming?
How'd you know my name? How did you know my name?
Fleming, don't be a bore. What's your name? I'm Steven.
Molly, I'm Molly.
Hello, Molly. Glad you're third. Fleming, this is Molly.
Hello. No, that was me, sorry. This is
Oh,
you.
that was
You
me,
go- I
sorry.
already said
Let's go back to
Hey, kid.
Hey, kid.
Hold our places in line.
What do you place in line?
You can just tell by looking at him, yeah. He's never held the place for anyone in his life.
Kid, I've been standing
here
all
night.
All night.
All night.
Waiting in front of the line.
In front of the line.
It's quite different than yesterday's the art park exploration, because we were outside, it was open, it was more playful, it was like nice out, fresh air, there was a lot of dogs, you know, so there's something about like the interaction of everything in the environment that was really like nice, and I think people were really excited. But we came here, the energy level in that space was changed, I think, because some of the participants don't like that space, or they have ties to that space. And so I am very moved by energy. So that space can totally be transformed just by the mood of the people in it. And so it became more of like a job, I guess, than an exploration or play. just because of the room, which is really interesting.
When interacting with other people's belongings, I felt, because this is sort of an art space, that there is sort of the sense of respect that they're almost installations in themselves. And so on an initial inspection, you don't want to interact with them, you just want to observe them. And there has to be a sort of a slow breakdown and sort of familiarity with objects to begin to interact with them.
I never really felt the need to move any of the furniture. I didn't ever think about taking up like your taping, but tape that was put down by other people, I thought about untaping. I never really did, but the tape that you put down felt like, I don't know, you worked really hard on it. I felt like I shouldn't move it.
No matter how we modify the space, we're still dealt with the hand that we have these physical walls that are shaping our interaction within the space in some way or another. I mean, I have almost no experience with working with props. I mean, as an artist, I try to make interactive works that you might have like small parts like marbles that you could call a prop, but they're more of objects.
I've never been in this room before. Do you like it? I do. It's very open, but there's also places you can go. Like I was like corner, like so they offered shelter, but also allowed you to be open. You'd move the person, but they wouldn't stay there, or they would not do what you want them to do. Whereas like an object, like it may not bend the way you want it to, but you can kind of change its positioning to your liking and have it stay that way until another person comes along and changes it.
In that moment, it wasn't an art gallery for me. In that moment, it was whatever barracks, and then, that railing, was the front line or something. In that moment, that was that. I didn't necessarily take into consideration, hey, this is an art gallery. People usually don't scream in here or run around. There was a delicacy with everything that I tried to instill. No, I never felt like, it was never comfortable.